So is Senator Cotton right? Will this bill, supported by the president, allow sex offenders and violent felons to get out of jail early? What's true? What's fact? What's fiction? Let's ask Republican Senator from South Carolina, Tim Scott, who is co-sponsoring the bill. Senator, great to have you with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Okay, so you know how your fellow GOP Senator Tom Cotton feels about this. I know that you think there are a lot of positives. What about these potential negatives that he cited?
At the end of the day, we have an expanding list of excluded categories of folks who cannot be eligible for this package. We've added every classification that Tom brings up. We'll add, and we'll continue to add some more if necessary. The reality of it is that we have a chance to reduce recidivism. What that means is we're increasing public safety. Today, after 5 years, 77% of the inmates are back in jail. We have proven programs that reduces that number. The reason why President Trump, who is not soft on crime whatsoever, supports this legislation is because he understands that by reducing recidivism, we can see safer communities. South Carolina is a classic example of that. We've closed 7 state prisons. Our estimated population of 30,000 prisoners down to 21,000. Why? Because we've reduced recidivism by having programs designed to force or to encourage inmates to participate in that actually helps us reduce their recidivism by increasing their readiness for the real world, by giving them the job skills, GED programs, and other programs that we have been able to prove reduces the likelihood of reoffending.
So not just a vicious cycle. Now, DOJ did tell Politico, an analyst said to them that the measure doesn't contain any exclusions for people convicted of the crimes that Senator Cotton refers to, and that all offenders would be eligible to receive more good time credits as a result of the bill. So is it your representation that the bill is still a work in progress, that some exclusions will be added?
Absolutely. We're working on it today. What we had was a base bill that we were continuing to add excluded classes. The classes that Tom asked DOJ to take a look at already are eligible for good time credits. So the question was, does the bill provide enhanced good time credits? And the answer is it does provide more certainty and more flexibility for the BOP to decide who gets what. But we put those 4 classes that Tom Cotton had questions about on the excluded list.
Well, that's why people have discussions and raise their concerns.
This has been a good process.
So you can have some interaction on that. Okay, I want to ask you as well about Thomas Farr, who is a judicial nominee. You voted today procedurally just to move him forward, not on the merits of whether or not he should be a federal judge. You know that there are plenty of objections to him. The NAACP says he needs to withdraw his nomination. He's the architect of the worst voter suppression law in the country. After you voted to move him forward today, at least to the next consideration level, News One had this. Their headline said, Senate's only black Republican, Tim Scott, sells out in vote on Trump's racist judge nominee. Jennifer Rubin, who is a self-described conservative blogger over the Washington Post, said, what a fraud he is on civil rights, referring to you.
Yeah, hogwash. If I took the time to respond to every negative criticism that I get from the African-American community, whether it's NAACP, NAN, or some other group, then I would spend all my time only responding to the criticism. The fact of the matter is, if there's a civil rights issue, we've just talked about it. It's having prison reform actually see the light of day and get passed. It's the work that I've done on the Opportunity Zone legislation, which brings more money back into the poor communities that I grew up in a single-parent household. So it's talking about ways to improve education, which I'm working on, which I think is one of the greatest civil rights issues of our generation. We're looking for ways to make sure that every single zip code has quality educational options for parents. The fact of the matter is that we can agree to disagree on a specific nominee. I don't remember all those folks coming out and saying, good job, when I shot down an administration appointment to the courts just about 2 or 3 months ago. So I'm going to take my hits, and frankly, that comes with the territory. At the end of the day, my goal is to do the right thing. One of the reasons why I called and spoke to the author of the DOJ memo from 28 years ago was to understand and appreciate what role Tom Farr played in the Helms campaign. If he was the architect of that nasty racist campaign, I would have been a no without any question. What I found so far from appointees of the Obama administration to my conversations with the author of the memo is that he was, in fact, not the architect of the campaign, and that the character witnesses from the Obama administration coming forward on behalf of Tom Farr have been pretty strong. But I am continuing my research because the thing I hold myself accountable for is doing the right thing, not the politically acceptable, not the politically expedient, but the right thing based on the evidence. And so far, the evidence is pointing me towards the vote that I took today. And I will continue this journey through the night and into tomorrow and make the best decision I can and sleep with a good conscience.
All right. Well, you have proven that before on difficult votes where maybe the White House or your party wanted you and you voted your conscience
Absolutely.
as a no. So we'll watch tomorrow. The vote is at noon. In the meantime, thanks very much for stopping in.
Thank
and we'll
you.
follow the criminal justice bill as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed.